Pathfinder Challenge Phase 1, Part 7 to make a spear. Got some number 36 bank line, and all I'm doing right now is trying to make it smaller, unravel it, and make it smaller. Is using the whole size of number 36 just seems too big to me, so I'm try to make it down, take it down into its three pieces. I know somebody said there's an easier way of doing this, and I'm just trying to figure out what's the easy way of unraveling it. It's one of those tasks where you almost need to be an octopus, huh? Well, one. Okay, I got the one piece I need, but I'll later on unravel these and make them smaller also. Let's try to straighten this out some. Okay, when I started this task, I looked everywhere for a halfway, or at least 3/4 of the way, straight piece of oak. I couldn't find no straight piece of oak, so what I ended up using, I found a piece of mimosa. Mimosa ain't the strongest wood in the world, but it is pretty straight. And I've already fire hardened this end right here, and I made a point on this end and fire hardened this end. And I made it where it's a little bit higher than myself. And of course I'll carry it with the point down, and the prongs will be up. So what I'm doing now, since I've already split it, fire hardened it this way, all I'm going to do is put me some splitters in here. And what I really want to do first is I want to tie me a clove hitch down here so I can go ahead and tie it off. I don't know if y'all do clove hitches like this or not, but I found in the Army we were taught doing combo wire to do clove hitches like this when we staked it to the ground to get it pulled up in case somebody walked on it. And basically all you do is do your 2 loops and flip them over on top of each other. Pull it down, and you'll see in just a second. Of course I might have made this a little bit small. No, there you go. Pull it down on itself. I'm leaving myself a big tag in, reason being is because I'm going to tie it down to itself eventually. And I'm going to slide it down and pull it on itself. I actually put it on backwards from what I want, but it's okay. Then you tighten it up. Okay, now I'm just going to dress it up just a little bit and pull it down a little bit further. And anyway, that's kind of the way I learned how to tie a clove hitch. And After all, it's military, you can't be wrong, right? Yeah, right. Okay. Pulling down on itself. Okay, now when you do this, you're wanting to wrap opposite direction from the way your knot is. Otherwise, it will unwind or loosen up on you. So I got it down to about where I want it at. Let me pull it down just a little bit more. So I'm gonna start wrapping it. And matter of fact, I'm gonna get me let me grab me a small piece of stick real quick. I'm gonna pull this as tight as I can. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap my bank line around this, so that way the loose end tag end don't get all knotted up on me. Don't get in my way. What I'm gonna do is use this as kind of like an anchor point. I'm sure y'all know about using a piece of cord as an anchor point so you can pull it tight while you're wrapping. So bank line's pretty strong, but at the same time you can break it. So, but I'm gonna try to keep it pulled as tight as possible while I'm wrapping. Okay, at this point I'm gonna go ahead and put some spreaders in it. I cut 4 pieces here, and what I'm gonna use is my 2 largest pieces. I think this piece here and that piece there. Might should have put my spreaders in first. We'll get me a baton so I can tap them down in there. I don't know if y'all just heard that bell or not. My neighbor over there, he feeds the squirrels when he gets through putting out their peanuts and their crackers and stuff. He's got a little dinner bell that he rings, and believe it or not, they come from almost his whole neighborhood just to go over there and eat supper. He's got them trained pretty good. He did have some raccoons that go over there and eat, but I don't know what happened to the raccoons. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm putting these spreaders down almost all the way down to my wrap. Okay, I'm just working them down. So I don't want this spread out too long, because the way I've been told is that to make these fish and frog gigs, you want it where the fish actually go inside here and get stuck in there. It's not so much as the idea of spearing them, it's the idea of catching them in here where they can't get out. Whether that be true or not, I don't know. The only thing I've ever used for frogs is frog gigs. I mean regular steel frog gigs. But anyway, so I got my spreaders down in there, and you can see how wide they're spread out. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this a little bit tighter. It did come loose, which is fine. Like I say, I'm going to try to keep it pulled tight, and what I'm going to do is, if you see, I'm going to start looping it over, under, over, under, over. This I'm doing over under on my spreaders. Let me see, that one should be under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay, every one I'm starting to skip over. What I'm doing this is for is to hold my spreaders down inside so they don't come out. Okay, now what I'm doing, well, I'm gonna need me another piece of bank line. Let me split me another piece of bank line real quick. And what I'm doing is trying to hold them down inside the wedge. Okay, just tie this piece on this other piece. All I'm gonna do is simple overhand knot. It ain't gotta be pretty, but I am gonna cut these tag ends off so that way they don't get in the way. That's another good thing about bank line. When you do tie these knots, they usually stay in. Okay, I'm just turning it around and twisting it on top of each other. Okay, I think it's secure enough in there, so what I'm going to do is make sure that it's pushed up against itself real quick. Okay, that's good. And if you want to know, today I'm using the more robust Pro. It's only about 3rd or 4th time that I've used it, but it's pretty sturdy. It's got the same sharpness as most everybody's come to get used to of more knives. Okay, do me some more frapping, make sure that I ain't, okay. Or not frapping, but wrapping. Say I'm trying to keep it as tight as possible. The reason I didn't explain the reason why you do this, and I'm sure you've already seen it on other people's videos. The reason why you do this is to keep the split from going down any further, and also basically to hold your splitters in. Okay, we're basically at the end of the line. So all I'm going to do on this is, again, just overhand knots and tie it as tight down as I can. For stuff like this, you don't plan on ever taking it apart. You ain't got to be fancy with your knots. It's just good to use that clove hitch on your initial knot. Reason being because it's easier to start off on with a clove hitch. On most your wraps or your basic tie-offs like this, usually always easier. Now I'm gonna bring it around a couple times on itself just to get rid of some of this excess. And tie a couple more knots here. And let's see, yeah, that's down in there tight. It ain't spread real wide, but it's spread good enough, I think. All my prongs are pretty strong. So there you go. There's my spear. Got the gig on one end and the point on the other end. Of course, this point, being that it's going to be on the ground, is going to naturally have to be sharpened every so often. But anyway, hope you can see the height of it. Let's back up some. Okay, and there you go. That'll complete that. And the next challenge is to make 2 primitive traps, and I should be able to start that this weekend, hopefully, if the weather stays decent or if I don't get busy having to do something or work. I'm retired, but I still do several other things for work. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed. Take care. Well, let me go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and cut these tag ends off. Get them out of the way. Slide that up in there a little bit. Okay. Y'all take care. Have a good weekend. Bye.